Hey everybody, for this week's video I thought I'd do a comparison between the Irwin SL300 6-inch quick grip clamp and the Bessey EZS 6-inch clamp. The Bessey clamp I'm featuring in this video was given to me by Bessey for me to use and review. I will still give you my honest unbiased opinion on that clamp as well on the SL300. If I don't like something, believe me, I'll tell you. I take my credibility on YouTube very serious, and I would feel I would be doing a disservice to you and myself if I lied about a product just because I got it for free. So having said that, let's begin the... Here we have the Irwin SL300 one-handed bar clamp and spreader. This particular clamp has a 6-inch clamping capacity with a throat depth of 3 3/16 of an inch. When the SL300 is converted into a spreader, you have a spreading capacity between 7 3/4 and 13 3/8 of an inch. The overall length of the clamp is 13 3/16 of an inch, and even though it doesn't weigh a lot, it can exert a clamping force of up to 300 pounds. I buy these at my local farm and fleet, but if you don't have one of those near you, then I suggest you check out your nearest Lowe's. Overall, the fit and finish of the clamp is good. With each squeeze of the handle, the clamping face moves 5/16 of an inch. One of my favorite features is the patented locking swivel jaw. With a push of a button, you can easily lock the clamping face, and going back to a swivel face is just as easy. I've never had an issue with the quick release, and all in all, this is a great clamp in my opinion. Here we have the Bessey 15-8 EZS one-handed clamp. This particular clamp has little over 6 inches of clamping capacity. The throat depth is labeled on the clamp at 80 millimeters, and that measurement is from the top of the clamping face without a pressure cap to the top of the bar. The flyer on their site says these have a throat depth of 3.5 inches, but I was only able to get to this fancy number when I measured from the top of a pressure cap to the top of the bar. When the EZS is converted into a spreader, you have a spreading capacity between 6.5 and 14 inches. The overall length of the clamp is 14.5 inches, and even though it weighs slightly more than the SL300, it can exert a clamping force of up to 445 pounds. My local Home Depot doesn't carry this item in store, but you can find them online. The fit and finish of the EZS is really nice. I like the release mechanism for the removable jaw, and the handle fits my hand really well. With each squeeze of the handle, the clamping face moves 1/4 of an inch, and using the quick release lever is easy once you get used to the placement of it. You can go ahead and look at the flyer on Bessey's website if you'd like, or we can get to the actual... So in comparing the two clamps, I realize there are pros and cons to both, and in the end, it all comes down to personal preference. For instance, I prefer the pistol grip handle on the SL300 to the EZS. To be honest, it just fits my hand better. I do like some aspects of the EZS handle though, such as the overmold and where Bessey placed the quick release. I like how it's out of the way, and it gives the clamp a more streamlined look. For me, converting the clamp into a spreader is much easier on the EZS. I prefer the release mechanism on it to the one Irwin uses on the SL300. You can get into a tighter space with the EZS when it's in spreader mode. You also have more spreading capacity than the SL300, and that may come in handy on certain applications. Having said that, I couldn't tell you the last time I converted my clamps into a spreader. Well, besides for this video of course. But if you find yourself going back and forth a lot between a clamp and a spreader, then I would suggest looking into the EZS. Or maybe just buy some more clamps, because one can never have enough clamps. Unless you ask my wife, then that's a different story. So if you're looking at getting the most out of a clamp, then I would recommend the SL300. Irwin came out with a variety of accessories for it, and the XP600, which I really like. I use a corner clamp and wider clamp pads mostly, but I do own a few edge clamps and couplers. And here we have the accessories for the EZS. Now in terms of build quality, the BESSEY is better built in my opinion. Now I'm not talking about the beefier rail or its ability to apply more clamping force. I'm referring to what's inside that makes it better. For comparison, the Irwin is made up of thinner clutch plates and a variety of different springs. And yes, you can easily replace those springs on the SL300 when they break. I've only had to do that a few times though. Looking at the internal parts of the BESSEY, you can clearly see the better quality materials for the clutch plates and springs. The finish on the thicker clutch plates is nice, and the springs are much larger and chrome plated. I don't foresee myself having to replace the springs on the BESSEY anytime soon, but if I do, I'll let you know. My favorite feature on the SL300 is the locking swivel pad. The clamp faces on these types of clamps are really never parallel to each other. Granted, the BESSEY is closer at being parallel than the Irwin is when the clamping face is locked. But when the pad is set to swivel, then the clamping faces become parallel to each other. That is one feature I would really like to see added to the EZS. Having said that, I've used the BESSEY on a few projects already, and without the swivel pad feature, it works just as well as the Irwin with the swivel pad in use. So don't lose too much sleep over that. Before I tell you which is my favorite clamp between the BESSEY and the Irwin, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave those below. And if you haven't already, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel while you're here. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care and have a good one. Oh yes, if I had to pick one clamp over the other, it would have to be 100% without a doubt the